Hi everyone, and welcome to our first look at what's in store for Lost Ark in 2024. As we get things ready for the new year, we're super excited to share some of the plans we have in store for the beginning of the year with our very first roadmap of 2024. For those who may not know me, I'm Rox. I'm the product community manager for Lost Ark in the West, and I'm joined by a couple familiar faces with me today to help talk a little bit about what you can expect as we get into the new year. So Henry, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Henry. I'm the head of editorial at Amazon Games, and you might recognize me from the Patch Notes with Henry videos every month.
Yep, and on my other side here I have Andy.
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm the product manager for Lost Ark, and I was in the previous video, but I work on monetization, data, bots, and the economy for the game.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have these two here with me today. We're gonna reveal a little bit about what you can expect, talk a little bit about what we're excited for. But before we get into 2024, 2023 is finally coming to a close, and we had a pretty big year for Lost Ark in terms of content. I wanted to just take a minute to reflect on 2023 and kind of what that looked like. I know I have a favorite piece. For me, that was the Arkesia update. Really getting to see that story kind of come to a climax. I know we kind of call it the first chapter of Lost Ark, but gathering all the arcs, seeing what happened there, I won't get too into it in case people are still playing through, but that storyline was insane.
You're not a Shift G enjoyer?
No,
Rox?
I really liked it. The
Okay.
cutscenes were crazy. There were parts of that were just absolutely mind-blowing to see how they set that up, and I'm really excited to find the last arc.
I thought the visuals were really incredible in that part of the story.
For sure, it was super pretty too. Even now, you know, I can't my character in Arkesia because it's just so pretty. That was definitely my favorite part, seeing the story kind of come to a head like that and, you know, actually finding out there's a lot more to the story and what the Lost Ark really is. Andy, what about you? What's kind of something you really enjoyed from the past year?
So I personally enjoyed playing on the Jumpstart servers, and I'm a little biased because I helped work on it, but I thought it was a great opportunity for players to come back to the game. We had over 100,000 players returning in the month of September when we released it. The players were able to enjoy a bunch of sped up progression, bonus benefits, and rewards. And I felt like the vibe in the community on the Jumpstart servers was very friendly. We also heard a lot of feedback about how the experience could be better. And so we've taken that feedback through surveys and community posts, and we're going to use it to make the next iteration of the servers much, much better.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot to look forward to in the new year. It was really great to see like players come back as well. I know I had a lot of friends that hadn't played in a while and they were hopping back in and enjoying the experience all over. So that was really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of fun like re-progging the raids on item level again, because you know you're so used to clearing them so fast once you've gotten your gear up. So
yeah, solving the puzzle and doing the challenge again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely was a good kind of reset for a lot of players. But we're not quite done with 2023 either. We're still in December, and there's a little bit more that players can look forward to. Yeah,
absolutely. So we've had a ton of raids and endgame content come out throughout the year. Everything from Shaza Hard to Akan, Triangle, all sorts of stuff. And we have one more big piece of content coming before the year ends, which is the Ivory Tower of Chaos Abyssal Dungeon. That drops later this week and is accompanied by the Elixir system. I'm super pumped for it. I'm ready for my character to kind of level up with those elixirs, get even more powerful. So it should be a fun end to the year.
Do you not spend enough time on the MVP screen without your elixirs?
Nope, not my Death Blade, so we gotta get that one up there.
All right, cool. Yeah, there was a lot in store in 2023, but with that all being said, we're really excited to look ahead to 2024 as well. So let's dive right into it with January.
January is going to be a little bit of a lighter month for us. You know, we have a huge update in December with Voldis arriving, and then the endgame content for Voldis arriving this week. So we still anticipate a lot of players working through those systems in January, checking out the Ivory Tower, experiencing the new Guardian and all the other things in that update. But we still do have some exciting things coming in January. First of all, we know players are really excited about the class balance patch, and while we don't normally view that as a piece of content that we talk about on the roadmap, we just wanted to reconfirm that that will be arriving in January for players. And we also released a recent announcement talking about how we approach bringing balance updates to the West. So if you haven't read through that, feel free to go check that out. We've definitely heard your voices that you want balance, as soon as possible. And while there are some technical limitations in how we receive builds from Korea, we are looking at ways to speed that process up to make sure that we can get those changes as fast as possible. With that, in January, we will be continuing the Freya Island event that is going on in December, but it will have some new activities. And on top of that, we're going to be bringing Belshazzar Inferno mode in January. As most of you already know, Inferno is the most difficult version of Legion raids. It's all about proving you're among the best of the best in Arkesia and earning the accompanying prestige. Rather than chasing the normal rewards of gear, materials, and everything else you'd receive in a Legion raid, Inferno rewards instead showcase your victory with titles, achievements, stronghold structures, and more. The Inferno difficulty of Belshazzar will require item level 1560, and as a piece of equalized content, a full build is required to set up in the Book of Coordination.
Yeah, I know a lot of players are going to be really excited for Belshazzar Inferno. I've seen a lot of players asking for that. Are you guys going to try it week 1, do you think? I feel like you might.
I'll probably try it eventually. I like playing, what was Gate 5 before we restructured the content and it was removed from the raid with a coordinated group of players. So I think that'll be a lot of fun to try again. But I don't know if I'll play on release. I'm probably still going to be really focused on Voldus and trying to max my elixirs out at that point.
Yeah, that's fair. What about you, Andy?
There's like a pretty active group of Infernal people who do Inferno mode at Amazon, and I'm gonna try attempting it with them. Maybe not on week 1, but I'll give it a shot eventually.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool. I don't know if my artist is ready for Inferno mode, but maybe eventually. Awesome, so that's our first look at January. After January comes February. I don't know if you wanted to take a break. So when February rolls around, we'll be celebrating the 2nd anniversary of Lost Ark. It's pretty crazy to think this game has already been live, well, is about to have already been live for 2 years in the West. I know it's been kind of quite the journey so far.
Time has really flown by. 2 years, 2 really successful years of service, and I think there's a lot for us to celebrate.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it. And you've been 2 years of grinding 8 hours of Lost Ark every night. How are you feeling?
Oh yeah. Like a grizzled veteran.
Like a grizzled veteran, perfect. Well, to celebrate the anniversary in-game, we'll have a number of fun in-game anniversary events for players to enjoy with rewards to match. Players can take part in celebrating Lost Ark's 2nd anniversary at the Arkesia Festival. Each week of the festival, there'll be a new co-op quest for players to participate in, keeping things fun and fresh as you earn tokens to trade in for valuable rewards. We don't have that rewards table quite yet, but there'll be a lot to look forward to. In addition to the Arkesia Festival, we're still fleshing out the full details, but we're working on an additional event that will take players on a trip down memory lane and lead them to earn rewards by re-experiencing some of the most iconic pieces of Lost Ark content. We're really excited to continue to develop this and hope players are looking forward to celebrating the anniversary in game with a little bit of fun. Aside from fun though, we also have something a little bit more challenging than these anniversary events are going to be. Henry, do you want to get into what that is?
Oh yeah. The thing I'm looking forward to in February is going to be Vaulton Extreme. Vaulton will return ready for vengeance from all the card runs in a new challenging version of the raid. There's 2 versions of Vaulton Extreme, normal at item level 1580 and hard at item level 1620. There's going to be some cool first-time clear rewards given upon clearing those 2 gates, along with rewards as you re-clear. Each roster can enter the raid once every 2 weeks, with gate progress bound to that character that cleared the first gate. I'm really looking forward to it, definitely ready for some nostalgia clearing Vaulton again. I'll never forget progging original Vaulton and trying not to get bonked off the edge, so definitely looking forward to it.
Original Vaulton is a really fun raid. I'm looking forward to trying Vaulton Extreme Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to bring kind of a new level of depth and fun to that raid, but it is one of my favorites, I think, in game, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
I think it's fun, like, releasing it on the 2-year anniversary too, you know, as the first Legion raid, just kind of like a fun look back. So.
Yeah, throwback, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a great way to reflect on 2 years of content. So that's what we have in store to help us celebrate the Lost Ark 2nd anniversary. We're really looking forward to enjoying that kind of moment of nostalgia with players, celebrating our 2 years so far, and looking ahead to what's next.
There's actually one more thing in February. I know players, for a lot of players, these are some of their favorite skins in the game, myself as well. And so I'm really pleased to announce that the Korean 5th year anniversary skins will be coming to the West in February in tandem with our 2nd anniversary.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure players are super looking forward to that, so you will also get to be beautiful for the Lost Ark 2nd anniversary. Be fashionable. We love Fashion Ark. All right, let's look ahead and get into March.
All right, March is a pretty stacked month. Starting right off the bat, we have the Breaker class. The new Breaker class was just teased at Loa On, but we're super excited to bring it to the West in March. It's a male version of the Scrapper built around relentlessly bashing enemies. Breaker is a force to be reckoned with, using his heavy gauntlets, mobility, and some combos to deal massive damage. I'm excited as we learn more and get to see the class in action leading up to March. But Andy, you want to tell us about what progression events we have planned to support the Breaker?
To help players get their Breakers up to a competitive level, we have multiple progression events planned for March. The first is the Super Makoko Express Pass, which we're bringing back, which will give players a lot of rewards for leveling up a new character. There's also going to be an Arc Pass as well as a Power Pass to support the progression of Breaker even further.
All right, so I'm sure players are super looking forward to getting those progression events. I know a lot of players will obviously be using that to kind of get their new Breaker up to the item level they want it to be, but what about both of you? Are you thinking, what classes are you thinking about kind of making with those events?
Yeah, I think for me, I've been interested in the Reaper playstyle for a while. It seems kind of mobile and fun. And I know people are going to call me a meta chaser in the comments, which is definitely true. But with the balance patch coming a little bit before this month, I think it's kind of a fun time for me to try that class out.
Yeah.
For me, I missed the boat on Aeromancer, and I actually really wanted to try that class. I know it's Sumin's favorite class, so I wanted to give it a go as well.
That sounds really cool. I think I actually might end up making a Breaker. I actually played Scrapper a really long time ago, like before the game even launched in the West, when we were still working on those beta builds for like ahead of our launch. So it's been a very, very long time since I've played Scrapper, where obviously like I didn't get very far in the game because there just wasn't that much content in those really, really early in development builds. But it might be fun to kind of almost revisit that with the male version of the class that's now coming out, the Breaker, and that being the latest class. So I think that could be really fun for me.
Gonna finally play DPS again? No more support?
Maybe. I mean, I enjoy a little bit of both. I think truly, I tried to be a DPS in Lost Ark for a long time, but with like every game I play, I really am kind of a support at heart. So I won't give up my artist. We'll keep doing our weekly runs. I'll keep supporting you, Henry, but it might be time for me to try to do some DPS again.
Sounds good.
We're also going to be releasing the next part of Lost Ark's story, Light of Destiny. The Lost Ark's location is getting closer and closer to being revealed. Sakhria is beginning to investigate the events that have occurred in Plechia. As the situation grows more unpredictable, it will be up to you to face the chaos as you follow your path. The Light of Destiny story will reveal the Lost Ark's location and kind of bring things to a head after what you've just experienced in Voldis. We're really looking forward to sharing the next part of the Lost Ark story, and we're getting closer to closing this chapter.
Yeah, and that's not the only story that's going to arrive in March. We actually have even more coming. We are going to also release the Thamine Prelude story quests, which are all focused on Lutera and Thirain. So as players might have noticed as they played through some of the previous stories, spoiler alerts if you're a new Lost Ark player, but Thirain, the king of Lutera, vowed that he will always protect the people of Lutera and Arkesia, and has been ever since the emergence of the Chaos Gates. However, some suspicious events are happening in Lutera now. You'll be able to experience a new line of story quests that lead into the Thamine Legion raid, and the Prelude will require item level 1520. So get ready for some, new stories, both the Light of Destiny and the Thamine Prelude.
And with the Thamine Prelude quest, I wonder what that could mean for April.
So yeah, with April, we will be releasing the Thamine Legion raid. After the events of the Prelude, you're going to be able to track Thamine to his dark fortress for a war between light and darkness. Thamine's the most powerful of the Legion commanders. He once conquered half of Petrania alone, long ago, and after facing Khazros, he accepted the role of the Legion Commander of Darkness. Now, his loyal knights, imbued with his dark blessings, are rushing into Arkesia and leading an onslaught of demons. It's a very cinematic raid. I'm super excited for it. We're going to be releasing both normal and hard mode, and there is no special difficulty for Thamine, just as a heads up. Normal is going to come in at item level 1610, and hard mode is at 1630. Both are going to require 8 people, and normal has 3 gates, and hard has 4 gates. It has an extra special difficult gate added on at the end. We also have some progression events planned to accompany Thamine, if you want to share those with the players, Andy.
The Road to Thamine event will arrive in this update, and it will help players progress towards the Thamine raid. It's similar to the Path to Soul Eater, which we released this year.
I think that'll be really cool. And one thing to know, you'll probably need some of these progression events because we're going to be releasing Thamine as it was released in Korea, the really difficult version of the raid, and then adding in the balance changes a little bit later on. So to round out the month, we have another Guardian raid releasing. It's going to be Vescal 1630 Guardian raid. For those that enjoy some lore, long ago Vescal chose to be consumed by chaos, following in the footsteps of Varkin. It was the head of the Chaos Guardians. Vescal is a Chaos Guardian who hunts enemies by using sound waves. And after returning to Arkesia, he is mercilessly hunting prey across the world. So he needs to be stopped. And like other Guardians, you're going to be able to clear for some additional honing materials above the previous Guardians that we've released.
So that's going to do it for the first look at our 2024 roadmap. As always, there'll be a few surprises and other things that show up, so be sure to stay tuned in. But with that, we want to know, what are you most looking forward to in Lost Ark in 2024? I know for me, I think it's going to be the Light of Destiny, seeing the next part of the story and finally, hopefully, finding that Lost Ark. What about both of you?
I think it's got to be Thamine for me. I watched the streamers clear it in Korea when it was released. It's a super cinematic raid. I love Brushalza for the same reason, so I'm really looking forward to Thamine.
Definitely.
Yep, I'm in the exact same boat as Andy. I had so much fun, staying up late watching all the streams. I'm super pumped for it, and for the power increase from Transcendence as well.
I almost said Thamane, but I am also excited for Light of Destiny, and I figured that was going to be everyone else's answer, so I wanted to be different.
Yeah.
So with that, we hope you enjoyed this first look at 2024. We're really excited to hear about what you're most looking forward to, and as always, we'll see you in Arkesia.